Wouldn't this be a crazy video for you to watch all the way through? Yeah, I know. But, we'll throw some, captions on screen. Maybe it's everything, maybe it's not. Play this in the background. It's a fucking podcast, right? The only downside is I haven't been posting this on RSS, so you can't listen to it on Apple Music or Spotify or anything at the moment. But that's because I haven't been paying any of my subscription bills. Like, RSS is $4.99. Haven't been paying that. Crunch Fitness have not been paying that. I just pay in person. And oh my goodness, the late fees is insane. My credit card bill, whoopsies, haven't been paying that. I guess that's a very important subscription bill, but I'm planning on working on it. Oh, my website domain is gone. I mean, if someone wanted to swoop in and steal it, I mean, they'd have it. Now, I just have to assume no one else has my exact name, and I think I'll be okay. My website is Selah M. Hunter Writes. Isn't that's a good website? Because what do, guys? I'm a writer. If you are like, girl, I don't know, you make videos while you're in the bathtub, you make it sound like I do a different type of work. You know what? We need to stop sexualizing bathtub videos, because I'm like, this is when I have my best ideas. Seriously, soaking in heel. Because what else am I going to do? Scroll through TikTok? I mean, yes. But I can just scroll through TikTok in my bed. So I don't feel like scrolling through TikTok in heel. Sometimes I do like watching a movie or a TV show. Like I was just now watching a podcast, Just Trish, obviously. And that's fun. But unfortunately, I have such bad Wi-Fi in my bathroom. I'm like so incredibly far from the routes right now. So sometimes it chops in and out. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't stand this. So I end up just sitting here. So sometimes I can read a book, but then you drop it in the bathtub, and then it's wet. Then you have to let it dry, and it's like, oh my God, I don't even want to be in this bath in the first place anymore. I'm over it. So I was like, well, let me do this instead. Obviously, you're not going to see my face because, look at the man trying to sexualize everything or whatever. But, you get the vibe. And like I said, we're going to have lyrics. We're going to have captions on screen, so, you'll understand. Since I was saying, I was just watching Just Trish, and her editor showed up, Jimmy, and I love Jimmy. I love Jimmy's edits. And he had showed his Pokemon collection. I was like, oh my goodness, that's so much. And anybody with collections like that, sorry, sometimes I talk too fast, my words roll over themselves. Anybody with collections like that, my first immediate thing is like, oh my gosh, what a geek. Not in a bad way. Sometimes geek just meaning geek. But obviously geek does have this negative connotation. Now, I'm a bit of a geek as well. Hey guys, I play Magic the Gathering. I'm allowed to say the word geek, okay, please. But I'm taking it back. But, I think I'm not close enough in there to be able to say geek. I don't play video games. I did play video games yesterday, though, with my friend who was out of town. We were playing, Papa's Freezeria. I played Papa's Pancakeria because that's my favorite one. Everything loads so slow now. All those flash games, I'm like, this is unbearable. I played a kissing game for a bit. I don't know if you guys were on there on Girls Go Games in the day. I mean, I know you were, but seriously, take yourself back there. Go Games. Wow. There was this great, I'm going to talk about Go Games, but something just came in my head. It was called Love Candy, or that sounds inappropriate, but Love Candy Shop or something like that. And it was you make your own character, and you had 3 guys to make you fall in love with. I've graduated from that to Love and Deep Space. So sometimes I play Love and Deep Space. I've stopped playing Love and Deep Space though, because at some point I was awing over a guy in the video game, and I was like, oh my goodness, Selah, he's not real. And I literally was like, he's not real. Oh my God. I need to delete this app. And I deleted the app immediately after. I have not downloaded it since. I may later, because I'm like, you know what? Sometimes it's fun to have fun. Has anyone thought of that before? That it's fun to have fun sometimes? I think I'm the first person that ever thought of that. I'm going to spread the news to people. It's fun to have fun. Anyways, what was it? Girls Go Games. So there was this great game on it, so kissing games, and that's when you can hold the mouse. It's literally just a click and let go, click and let go. But that's all we had back then, right? I make it sound like I grew up in the fucking 80s and I'm playing that real ping pong game where it's they played in Scream in the Michael Jackson music video. Anyways, I was playing a kissing game back in my childhood. Oh my God. I loved hair games. I loved makeup games, and I loved kissing games, okay? And so the kissing games is when you like kiss, you hold, or you click the mouse, right? And you click and hold until somebody licks at you, and then you let go. So like there's like I think the most famous one if you type in kissing game is like kissing at work, and it's like these two office workers, and I definitely played it as a kid. They try to kiss each other, and then the boss can't see them, or else they'll be fired or something. Which like, duh. If I went to work with them, that'd be so fucking annoying, right? I mean, fucking Pam and Jim all over again. And then you also had a really good one. Oh my god, I don't remember the visuals, but you guys tell me if you remember this vibe. It would be like it's here, it's coming, it's right there, it's in my brain, I'm almost there. It would be when, okay, there it is. So it was these two people at a wedding, like bride and groom, okay? But it was before they got married, so they can't see each other or anything, but they would see each other just to kiss. And that's like a cute one, unless if someone caught you, and oh no, right? So that was a good one. There'd be sometimes where it's like cheating, and it was like these two people, and they were on two separate dates, but they would go to try to kiss each other, and you're like, that's bad. There was a really good dress-up game, and, I didn't particularly love the outfits you could come up with. There wasn't a lot of diversity in the outfits, but you could play as a bunch of different body types, I kind of remember, and it had a really great song, and it's like, it's the same level of like, I'm a woman, and these boots are made for walking, but it's not either one of those songs. It's like a song like that. I cannot think of it right now. I know there's no way I'm going to find it. I mean, what am I going to type in? Dress-up games? Come on, I'm never going to find it. And half these games, I realize they don't exist anymore. Like, you can see stone images of them. You can see old screenshots of them or something, but they do not exist on any website because they're all Flash games. And Flash is like so old now, and it's like Gorgo Games even. Gorgo Games. I went on there and I just assumed they had all of their games there forever. No, they delete old ones, they add new ones. I was shocked. I'm like, oh my god. And this is lost media, guys. The games on Go Games, that is lost media. Someone talk about this. I guess I could be the one to talk about this. Maybe I'll read something about lost media. I've recently been interested in reading more because this guy commented on on one of my YouTube videos, like one of the podcast episodes. He was like, remember, literature lifts your mind and smut keeps you down in the earth or something like that. And I literally responded, oh, brother, like, shut up. But part of me is like, I don't agree. I'm like, sure, that is true. I'm totally sure that's true. Literature is good for you. Smut isn't any good for you. But I'm like, it's not the most detrimental thing, okay? Some people do crack. I read smut. Like, grow the fuck up. Goodness gracious. And we're making it sound like smut, or like, let's just be plain pornography, which I don't think smut and pornography is always the same thing, but you know what I'm saying? It's like this new thing. Like, oh my gosh, these horny women started reading that fairy book, that fucking fairy book in the fae and book talk. It's ruined everyone. You guys are obsessed with smut. Okay, Fabio? Goodness gracious, what do you think all those book covers he was in was about? Your grandma reads smut when she's not reading the Bible. And, let your grandma do her thing, okay? Like, geez, let the grandma flick the bean. Okay, so there was this other game I loved on Google Games. They were called flirting games. Wait, I don't want to talk about that one yet. I'm going to say another one. The other one was the evil trend and the bad trend. They weren't really trends, but I always thought of everything in duality as trends because I am a trend, so I saw trends everywhere. And so it was like an angel, and then it was like a little demon. And they were both these cute girls. And so my favorite one was the hairdresser one, which doesn't exist anymore. The only one I can find is the cooking one. But I've seen screenshots of the hairdresser one. I know it used to exist. I just don't know if it's anywhere anymore. Like, I don't think any website has it anymore. And so the only one I could play was the cooking one. But anyways, same clicking type of thing, right? Click and hold. So the evil trend or the good trend would be doing somebody's hair, right? And then the evil trend would you click and hold, and she's like making the hair all really bad and awful every time the sister would look away. And so you would want to make sure the sister doesn't look away, and you had a time period. Because like sometimes the sister would look and she's like, oh my goodness, what's happened to the hair? And she'd fix it. And you'd be like, damn it. And now you need to mess it up twice as fast again. And so like it could get tricky. The farther the game wins, the levels go. And then finally, my favorite game back in the day, floating games. This was like a Japanese thing. At least it was styled like in a Japanese school, like these Japanese girls. I don't know, maybe it was some American dude that just had a fetish. I have like no idea. But it would be like these Japanese schoolgirls. There's also one on the beach, and then there was also one where she was like just out on town, I believe. But she would walk everywhere, and then she would see this guy, and this is like set in the 80s or the 90s, the way the hair is styled. And so she would hold her hand out and like mind control the men or kiss them, depending on what game it was. There was one I played where she just would grab them and kiss them, and I was like, whoa, she's fierce. But usually she holds her hand up, and the guy will like levitate with like hard eyes, and you hold the button long enough until his level is filled, and he follows you, and she like creates your little harem. But sometimes you'd have other girls that do the same thing, and so you'd have to battle against them by just clicking fast, like tapping fast, to make sure you still get the guy in the end. And so you would want to build your harem as big as it could be. And sometimes there'd be like a lifeguard somewhere, and the lifeguard's just like crazy sexy. So if you bumped into her, you would just lose all of your guys. Because it's like, how are we going to compete against the hot lifeguard? Or some of them was like the school teacher, and I'm like, you know what, real. And so, that game was so fun. And I think it's like borderline affects the way I am now. At least that's what my friend was saying. When I described this to her, she's like, this is explaining so much about your personality. Please tell me you guys play this game as well, and tell me it wasn't so effing fun. And then finally, there was something else I just thought of. This was another kissing game, but it was a smoker's awareness game. So you would be a guy, actually. I think you could play as a guy and as a girl. Yeah, I think you could go either way. But unfortunately, you cannot be gay in the game. And so, oh, look, a cat. And so you would try to, it was kind of like a dodging game. So you're walking continuously, and I think you controlled it by the mouse. So if the mouse moved to the right, your character moved to the right. Do you get what I'm saying? And so you would click on the girls or the boys, whoever you were playing as, that was not a smoker, and you would kiss them to make sure you love them. But if you ever kiss a smoker, it would be bad, because like, ew, their lips are all black and their breath smells bad, and so it would be anti-smoking ad. And you know, that worked for a long time until I started smoking. But I never became a smoking addict. I only smoked when I was drunk, and then I smoked a bunch during the election, I will admit. Like, yeah, it was kind of crazy. Not like a full pack or anything, but like for me, it was a lot. I think it was like 3 cigarettes, and I was like, oh my God, Selah, your lungs are turning black. Take a deep breath right now. Can you even do that? But in my defense, if you've never smoked before, it feels so good. All those things that says, smoking is so bad for you and you cough so much. I was like, well, just get menthol, you know, and then you'll feel so much better. If you're coughing so much while you're smoking, just drink first. And then you're going to love that cigarette. Like, let me tell you. But yeah, I don't smoke cigarettes anymore because it really is so bad for you. And I'm so desperately afraid I'm going to die from a heart attack or something, or from like lung cancer. So I'm stopping that. And one day, I need to start going to saunas more and try to melt any of the smoking badness out of me. Because I think that's what saunas do, or something like that, right? But yeah, those are all my childhood games. The point I brought that up was because I said I was a gamer girl, but like not really. That's like as much of my experience. And then obviously there was like Lego games I played as a kid, you know, like Star Wars Lego, fucking loves that. We had Indiana Lego, not as good. I had Harry Potter Lego. I do not know which one, but I had that on the DS. The other ones I had on, you know, PlayStation 3. And then there was one when PlayStation had Move, and so it was kind of like a cheat on their Wii idea, and so or like the Wii idea, and so you'd have a camera that would face you so you can interact with things on screen, and like obviously Michael Jackson Experience comes from that. But also what I loved was it was this pet game, and there was an original one, and then there was one with twos, and you get to like the pets like number 2, and you get 2 of them. And like I said, I'm a twin. And you could split the screen and play with both of them. And me, my sister, and my brother, and all of us, we all played with that. And I was like, because we're going to have a real pet. You know what? Maybe we did have a real pet at the time. We had a rabbit. And I'm like, that poor rabbit definitely went through neglect. And I really do think now, I want a rabbit so bad in like 3 years from now. And I'm going to like treat that rabbit better than I treat men. Which I guess is still like not a great amount. But you know, I'll be better by then. But yeah, that's like my gaming girl era. So you can understand if I call someone a geek, it's like, even though I do consider myself a geek due to Magic the Gathering, I'm not quite at the level of geekness. Now, I was never popular in high school or anything, though I make the joke all the time. Like, I'm sorry, I was popular in high school. I didn't know you guys went through that. I go through jokes like that all the time, but it is not true. It's just like a fun character I like to play on. Because now that I'm not in high school, I can just say anything happened, you know what I'm saying? And anything did happen. And yeah, I was never popular. I never had a terrible life either, though. I was just like chilling. High school was fine for me. Nothing big, nothing small. I definitely had more dreams back then. But anyways, sometimes like, hey, this is my step for me to call a geek. Because when I was looking at Jimmy's Pokemon collection, that's the whole reason I came on this to record. I wanted to talk about this. I'm always like, oh my gosh, he's kind of geeky. I didn't know that, right? And then I was like, Selah, his collection of Pokemon, that's a lot of Pokemon, right? Yeah, it is. Everyone knows, right? If you saw my closet, I don't even have a real closet. So the fact that I say that, if you saw the amount of clothes I had, it's that same level. It really is that same ridiculous level. So some people just love expressing themselves in like figurines and stuff, or like collectibles. I do that with clothes. And I do that with bags especially, but I don't treat my bags well, unfortunately. They're all like fakes or knockoffs or something like that. So I need to dwindle down this collection by a lot, or I need to start just wearing them more often. But it's so, oh, I was about to sit up, but I can't because I'm afraid you guys can see me. But it's so like a hassle to change the purse out all the time. I need to be better with my purses, or I need to just get rid of them and have like 3. A winter bag, a summer bag, and like a tote bag. Maybe 2 tote bags, and call it a fucking day. And you know what? I think I'm going to do that. And I'm looking now, and I see like 3 great summer bags. I know which one I'm about to get rid of. And then I have 2 left over. That's getting rid of, that's getting rid of. You're like, what are you talking about, Selah? Just know I'm making good points. I had to have a water break. Okay. What else do I want to talk about? 2025. Every time I say, I keep forgetting that next year is 2025 and not 2026. Does that make sense? Does this year not feel like it's 2025 and next year feel like it's 2026? That's how I've been feeling recently. But maybe that's to say that I already know what's coming through 2025, and it's good things, and that's why I'm just so casual with it. I'm casual, like things will happen, things will work out. I mean, obviously I need to apply the work, but some things I can't do until later, and I've been working decently now. I really do feel like it. But other times I'm like, okay, well, if you do harder work, this cat is lying on top of all of the bath towels I just cleaned, and I'm like, it's actually pissing me off right now because I'm like, you're a cat. You're not as clean as my laundry is. But I guess he licks himself clean. So, I mean, you know, I let him in bed with me. So what else can I say? Just know, if you ever stay over, I do give you guys freshly clean towels that the cats do not have access to. But yeah, I'm afraid that next year will not go the way I want to, even though I like work super hard. Because there's a lot of deadlines coming up. And if I don't make them, and it's nothing about like, oh, you just turn something in. It's like something has to happen before the deadline, which is so incredibly scary. Let me tell you guys something else. So you guys know how I had a trainer? So I texted him recently, or maybe like a month ago. No, around Thanksgiving. I texted him about a nerve being pinched in my foot. Now, I don't know if my foot is actually being pinched or my nerve is actually being pinched. But my mom has parts in her fingers that she doesn't feel. And the doctor said, your nerve is probably being pinched. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's part of my foot that I don't feel. But sometimes I can feel it. It just depends on the day. This happened like a year ago from now when I was working at Walgreens. That's like when the symptoms kind of started. And not a year from now, but like, well, maybe around that time. Maybe a little bit beforehand, honestly. But my foot would just hurt so fucking much. Like an incredible amount until I would go home and like my right foot was like numb and my left foot was sore. And I guess it just put more pressure on my right side of the body. Like, I guess everyone does that. So that's one issue. Or like whatever side of your body, you know. But that's one issue. The other issue, you know, when you're sitting in a bathtub so long, the water pushes against you, you can't breathe as much. That's how I feel right now. So that's why I'm taking these random deep breaths. But the other issue is that when it got really bad, I thought I developed diabetes. Now, since then, I've been like doing a lot of stretches and foot massages, and it's gotten a bit better. But when I was coming home from Thanksgiving, like that side of my foot had traveled up to my butt. It was the right side of my right foot had traveled up to my butt and was just stinging, like bad. I was like actually in pain. And that's when I texted him. I was like, do you do anything about foot stuff? Which is, I did not say it like that. But you know, and he responded pretty, I think he responded the next day. He said, yeah, this and it's cost this much and yada, yada, yada. And then after that, the foot stopped hurting. And I was like, oh. So I said, well, it's not hurting anymore, but maybe I'll come back to you, like, when it hurts again. Like, right now, it doesn't hurt, but part of it is definitely numb again. It's like that beginning feeling, which is kind of uncomfortable, but not painful. So I'm like, you know, and I'm about to go home for the holidays or whatever. But I think it also comes from, it either comes from the shoes I wear, because today I wore high heels, and it was like this kind of confined toe. But it may also do with what I'm eating. And I really do think it has something to do with how much salt I'm eating in a day. And I need to calm down and fix my foot. So I need to start my juicing thing again, which I was doing for a time period. I need to just get back there. And then work out more regularly. And I think I can fix it myself. If I'm like doing all that stuff, doing really good. And by February, because obviously January, new me, new year and everything. If by February I'm still in pain, I think I'll hit him up and say, hey, I need to do this. Though I think I was like, maybe he hates me because anytime we cross each other in the gym, I don't always know if it's him. Sometimes it's just the backside of his head I see. But I'm like, that's probably him. And I always think, oh, I should say hi. But I never do because he'll walk past me or something and he doesn't say hi. And I'm like, oh, okay, I shouldn't say hi then. You know what I'm thinking? I'm like, oh, okay, he doesn't want to say hi. And I think it's because he dislikes me because I stopped the membership. And I'm like, I'm also someone who's like, everybody hates me, but maybe everybody does hate me. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe everyone hates me and they just haven't said anything yet. But I should say hi in case I do need to get my foot fixed. You know, I'd hate to go to a doctor and he's touching your foot and he secretly hates you. Like, that's just something I just can't do. Already being by my foot, I don't like people by my feet. First of all, I hate feet. I think feet, like when I was a kid, I literally would like have a visceral reaction if I saw a foot. I was like, ugh. And I hated this summertime with people wearing sandals. I'd be like, ugh. Now it's not as bad, but I still don't like feet in photos. If I see someone like record their cat and they pan down and the foot is in the view, I cannot finish the video. Like, I'm like, I hate feet. And even my own feet in some of my photos, like there's this one photo of one of my cat's cow and my foot is partially in it and I just haven't gotten into cropping it. But every time I see that photo, the first thing I see is my foot and then my cat. And I'm like, that defeats the purpose of this photo and it's grossing me out. And anytime I show anyone that photo, I'm like, they're probably looking at my feet right now and they're probably like, ew, what a disgusting foot. Why is your foot in this fucking photo? And I don't have a good excuse for you. I'm gonna drink some more water. I'm like melting everything out. I'm boiling this thing. I'm giving myself a bit of a detox before I go home because I've been eating, like I said, like junk food. I've been eating partially healthy, but then I keep getting chips. I keep getting fucking chips and candy, and I'm like, this is gonna kill you. It really will. And it aids, like, all this unhealthy eating. I mean, it, like, affects you. Your body's not supposed to eat all this processed food and red 40. So I'm trying to get better at that. I really do need to. So that's one thing that I really want to do next year. And I'm starting to do that. I really am. I'm going to the gym regularly. I bought a juicer. I've been juicing, and then my juicer broke, and I don't know if it was my fault, but I got a free replacement. And I accidentally shipped it to my brother, so I won't get it until Christmas time. Or Christmas. I think he comes home on the 22nd. So, he's coming home the same day I am. So that's the next day I will get my juicer back. So I haven't been juicing since I broke my juicer, which was probably a month ago. So then I got off of my juicing game. But I get to see, when I was juicing, I was like, I felt so good. I was like, wow, I feel so healthy. And I would go to the gym more often. I wanted to start making sure I go to the gym at least 3 times a day. What I really want to do is go to the gym every single morning. Maybe not every morning, like 4 times a week in the morning, right? Because on Monday mornings, I can't do it because I have a job. But on Thursday mornings, they're open before my job is, which works out. So then, if I could do it like Tuesday through Friday, Monday, in the mornings, not even like a big workout, but like my main cardio workout, which I've been doing pretty regularly. And then I didn't have my car, and now I'm about to go home, so I just don't have time to be waking up that early. If I'm also going to bed so late, I'm like, just please don't do this. Do this to yourself. But that would be really good if I started doing that more regularly. And like 4 times in the morning, just an hour, just starting my day earlier, going to bed earlier, starting my day earlier. Like, I can do that easy peasy. I just need to do it. And I used to have a really great schedule back in high school, so I need to just get back into that. Of course, high school me wasn't paying any bills, so she always had free time to do whatever the fuck she wanted. Good for her. And then
I want to go weight training at least twice a week with my friend. And we've been pretty much doing once a week. I think we can do two. I think we can do two. And so if I'm weight training twice a week and doing cardio 4 times a week, I will be exactly how I want to be. I'm juicing in between. Not saying I'm going to be getting like an eating disorder or whatever, but like eating more healthily, juicing when I'm, on certain days. Maybe just like have one day in a week where I juice. And maybe just do that for January. And that's only 4 times. And that whole day, I just drink juice. And that would be a day I don't go to the gym, So I'm like, don't have to worry about it. Maybe like on a Monday when I don't do the gym. And I still wake up early, but I'll wake up a bit earlier, make myself some juice, and then I go home at like 11 and have the rest of the day. And that would be a really good day to just juice. I'm not really doing anything. So that's something else I really want to do in 2025 that I think is actually reasonable, and I can do that, and I can test this out in the month of January. And I know that's when everyone does it, but that's like 30 days until you make a habit, right? I mean, like, let's put it to the test. And then finally, I want to get a new job. I love my job. I love my job. I love my job. I need a better one. So either I want to have like a regular 9 to 5 type of job, right? And then I can still do my evening job, which is great. And I'll quit my morning job and my day job, except on weekends, because it's a 9 to 5. And that would be great. And yeah, I'm still like overworking, but I'd get a lot of money from it. And that would be perfect for me. And a lot of money for me is just like $30,000 a year. So like, don't be crazy. Like, don't worry, guys. I'm not going to be getting an ego or anything. But that could be good. But then, if that doesn't happen, and I've been applying to all these office jobs, people don't, like, they're like, have you ever worked in an office before? No, but like, you're telling me I can't be a secretary, or not even a secretary, a receptionist. I can do that. I can do that. Not saying a receptionist is like a nobody's job. I'm just saying it's a job that I can build the skill for. Like, I'm capable of learning how to be a receptionist without going to like, with you guys training me. I don't need to go. I really don't think I need to go to school for reception-y, right? And they're all looking for like at least high school graduates. And I was like, well, I graduated high school, so I have the qualifications. And then they're like 3 years of experience. And I'm like, well, what if I tell you this is year 1 of 3 years, okay? Like, what if I told it to you like that? What if instead, I don't have 3 years experience, but I can promise you I'll be here for 3 years. Because if I take the 95, I may actually do that. Like, just stay here for like 3 years and just pay stuff off. These fucking bills, they're like, I can't breathe with all of them. I would start a finance plan, which I really want to do, but it's like $600 a month. My rent is $650 a month. I cannot pay rent twice, okay? I'm just like, and I think if I was working at a different job with more hours, spending like $1,200 every month on necessities, I think I would make 3 times $1,200. So if I can still find a roommate, an apartment for $750 or something by next year, and then my loan payment is $600 every month, and I'm working a receptionist job with promised hours, and then I still have my evening job, I can do that. I am capable of doing that. And it would take the refinance plan, it would take me like 3 to 4 years to finish paying off. And like, I can do that. I can do that. And I'm fine with being in Savannah for 3 years. I really am. I'm kind of loving my life here. But another part of me is like, maybe the reason you're not getting this job is because you can't narrow yourself down in Savannah. Because if I say that's my plan, like I really am deciding I'm staying here. And I think that's fine to just move and choose to live somewhere. I'm like, that sounds great. And then start maybe a second part of my career later when I'm like, what, 25? Is that not reasonable? 25 is still rather young. And so I'm like, I can start my life at 25 years old, or like not my life, start a different section of my career at 25 years old, but I then have started at least having a 401k, I've paid off a decent section of my debt, and I just had a little bit less stress of hunting for a job right now, or gigs. But then again, like I said, that narrows me to Savannah. So maybe I need to just move home and gather on that thing. Now that's my last choice. But at the moment, it's the most realistic choice. And then finally, the last thing could be I hit the ground running on January. There's this website I want to start for modeling and gigs and just everything. There's voice acting stuff I want to do, and I know my voice is ridiculous, but like I think I can do like some cool characters, like whatever they need. I'm like, if the character has an accent, I can do that. If the character has an accent, I can do that. I cannot do an American accent. I think if I want to go full British, I can do full British, and I could do some Southern dialect, and then I can do voices like this, and I can do sultry voices. And that was a bad example, but you know what I'm saying. I can do the archetype. I'm not gonna be like no Timmy Turner or anything, but like I could be an animated character in Invincible. You know what I'm saying? Like I can voice act. I think I can. I think I really can. I need to focus on my diction. That's something else I want to do though. And really, I should be practicing that now, shouldn't I? Well, I'm not going to right now. You get what I'm saying. I'm not getting paid for this bullshit. I'm just talking. So that's something I want to work on. And so if I'm doing gigs, maybe that's where I need to focus. Maybe that's like what's going to end up happening. And before I end up getting an office administrator job, like I'm going to be applying all this together. I'm going to be like working my regular job, being prepared to move to Dallas, while simultaneously applying to office jobs, while also applying to gigs going around in the Georgia and possibly Florida area, right? Something I can drive to, nothing like more than 6 hours away. I think is reasonable. And maybe something like that will actually like kickstart it, Like what if I do really become like a model, and by the end of by this summertime, I'm moving to New York. That is crazy dream, but like, crazier things have happened. I mean, what did Hawk Tuah do? What did Hawk Tuah do besides describing fellatio? You know what I'm saying? So I think I can do that too. So first, you lick the tip and, but you know what I'm saying? And then finally, YouTube, which this is just like a hobby I've had forever. I've been doing YouTube forever now, guys. Like, forever, since high school. Not regularly, and most of those videos are gone. But I'm going to start doing it more regularly. Like, I've been editing a bunch at work because, like, during my break, I'm like, I have such a long break. I might as well be doing something. And that's when I edit, and I end up, editing a decently length video. And I've been posting that, and I've been getting like 100 views. And so one day, that will be 200 views and 300. And maybe it'll build up, and I'll end up being a YouTuber, and who knew that was going to happen. Or maybe someone will listen to this podcast, and they'll be like, oh my God, I need her for, and it's something I haven't even thought of. And then finally, there's writing. I just recently, yesterday, I wrote a monologue because I was joking around with a Southern accent. Sometimes I talk to myself. Do you guys get the idea that I talk to myself sometimes? Sometimes I talk to myself, and I'll be talking to myself, and then I'll be like doing accents in whatever character, because I talk to myself as characters sometimes. I'll like start talking, and I'm in a scene, and I just go. And I was performing this monologue to myself as this country bumpkin who was always told she's going to be a star one day. Have I seen Pearl recently? No, not since last year, but like, I guess it was in the front forepoint of my head. But I didn't think of her like Pearl. I thought of her like in a more real universe. And she's a black girl. Shocking. Yeah, I'm not thinking about how a white girl lives. Shocking. But, she's a little black girl. And I, for whatever reason, thought of this in the 70s or something. If I did this now, maybe it won't be. Maybe it will be. I'm thinking now. I've developed the idea a bit more, and I can't remember, like, what generation I decided it was going to be in. She can still be from the 70s or 80s. I think that's fine. And if this happens back then. But yeah, she's performing this monologue. She's just moved to the big city, and she's talking to the camera or to somebody. But I kind of like the idea of her talking to the camera. Because I was thinking of her talking to somebody, and the guy only had one line. And I was like, okay, so who's the story going to be about? The girl or the guy who just had one line? Because both of the lines I thought was like somewhat interesting. But pretty much she was saying like, I'm tired of like having to work hard to be where I need to be. Like, some of these girls just got luck. I mean, her great granddaddy was so and so, and now she's here. And yeah, I know that there's nobody out there that makes it or something, and they just work so hard. But I don't really want to work that hard because some of this. These are not literally her words. She says it a bit better with a better accent, I'm sure. But she's like, some of these people, it's not that they're working that great. They're just pretty. They're lucky. No, she says, they're lucky. And I've got a lot of luck. I mean, you think if I would have made it this far if I didn't look this good, something like that, right? And then she keeps going, and she says, I didn't look this good. And so you make it into this room and they ask you, hey, I heard you a star. And I said, oh, yes. And I said, well, I can sing pretty decently. And, well, I know how to dance. Oh, nice. And nice is another word for sexy, but I don't know. Maybe she'll just say the word sexy. Now, that's in the 70s. I think she can say just sexy. But, and I can dance real sexy. It depends on where she's from. Well, yeah, I sure do got a big personality, right? And the guy says, great. At first, he made a joke about being a star and like that being like close to a butthole, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, that's stupid. So instead, he just cuts to the chase, and he was gonna say that stupid joke and then say, take your clothes off. But then he just cuts it and he just says, take your clothes off. And this is her telling the story. So we hear all of this in her voice, and she's then looks at the camera and or the guy, depending, and she's like, they don't even hide it anymore. They don't even hide it. So in plain sight, they don't even hide it. Something like that, right? And it's, obviously, the story reports so much. I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to make this into anything, because our story is going to be heard so many times. There's sometimes when you think of a good idea, and you think it's a good idea, but it's not, and it's like, it's not particularly a bad idea. Maybe it's such a good idea that someone already did it, and that's fine. So I was like, well, someone already did this. It's kind of like the same thing when I was back in high school. One of my teachers, Mrs. Price, she's my playwriting teacher. I love her. I need to email her when I get to Texas. But, maybe if I write a bit and I'll send it to her, and then I'll say, by the way, I'm also in Texas, like a good way to get on in there. But she would say, like one of her things, we do 10-minute festivals, and she was like, in every 10-minute festival these days, like one of the plays is about being gay. Let me just tell you, being gay is not interesting anymore. It hasn't been interesting like since 2006. And I like laughed at it. I don't know if she said it. She didn't say it exactly like that, but I was like, yeah. Like, everyone agreed with her. Well, like, actually, now that you said that out loud, yeah. She's like, I get that you guys are teenagers and you need to let yourself out and you're figuring out you're gay and you want to write a play about it. But, like, you're in theater. Everybody's gay here, Your director's probably gay. The actors probably really are gay. Everyone in the audience, half your friends are gay. You coming on screen and having an I'm gay monologue doesn't mean anything. Everybody's gay. And I kind of like that. I'm like, everybody's gay now. Like, like, period. And so I just thought that was, anyway, same thing. I just take that to my heart all the time. Anytime I'm writing something and I'm like, this has already been written before. Sometimes you still need to write it, get out of your chest, even make it, do everything you have to do. But at the end of the day, you do have to be like, okay, well, anyways, seen this about 1,000 times, now 1,001. Fantastic. So I was wondering what was going to come up with that, what I was going to make out of that. And so I kind of put in the back burner just for today. I went about my life, and then I put on another country accent when I was like cooking in my kitchen today. I was cooking dinner, and I started, every time I lifted my hand, because the way I was wearing my shorts, I wasn't wearing it through the sleeves, because the sleeves are too tight, and it's this big oversized sweatshirt thing. So it was like fine, unless if I lifted my arm up. And every time I lifted my arm up, my boobs show up. And it's fine because I'm in the kitchen by myself, no one's there, whatever. But I thought, wouldn't it be interesting, like someone else was here, and every time my boobs lifted up, I just didn't say anything, but everyone in the room was like, what the fuck's going on? And the only person that says anything is a guy, obviously. And I was like, well, who's this guy to this character? Well, she's probably her boyfriend. And then I was like, well, she's so nonchalant of this. This reminds me of like some little country bumpkin who just don't even care. And so she does that. She has a country accent. She's talking to her husband back and forth. And they got these ridiculous country accents. And he's like, I need you to put these shorts down. And I'm like, well, you're in your own house. Why can't you have her shirt up? Who cares about this? It's your own house. Well, someone else has to be in this room. Well, maybe there's cameras in this room. Maybe this is a reality TV show, right? And so I know reality TV has also been done so many times. Can you tell I'm watching The Office right now? But like, let's just continue on. But why is this reality TV show watching these two kids in the kitchen, and the guy is so like nervous? And why is this guy so nervous that his girl is flashing her tits? And why does this girl not care? Like, does she not respect her husband? And I think the guy even says something about it. She's like, the girl says, well, you don't care when, and I'm like, well, why wouldn't he care when, what? And I'm like, well, when I dress in front of so-and-so and so-and-so, right, and it's like two guy names, right, and I was like, well, why is she interacting with him? Well, maybe she's the girl that wants to be a star, and so these are like people in theater or something, right, and they're probably gay, obviously. And so the guy then says, tell me if you can follow me down below. But anyways, her husband ends up saying, well, so-and-so and so-and-so's gay, and she looks at him, and she looks at the camera crew, and she's like, she's like, the camera crew's gay too. Why do you think the mic guy and the camera guy share the same last name? And the this is a stupid joke. And the husband says, "What are you talking about? They look so much alike. I thought they were brothers." And the wife says, "Yeah, that's another sign," or something like that, something stupid. Like, "Oh yeah, that makes it even more obvious." Or like, what did she say? She's like, something like that, right? Okay. That's a stupid joke. But then I was like, okay, so anyways, why does she not care that her husband is telling her to not flash her tits in front of men? I'm like, I think that's a common, thing to do, even if they are gay. Like, just put your short down, like, whatever. And I realized, she must not respect him for a reason. And they got this country bumpkin accent. So why is this camera crew following them? It must be something about them. Either they do an act or something, but I don't feel like doing that. And then I was thinking maybe they're one of those people that like love wild animals. You know how there's like Tiger King, and then there's that monkey business type of movie. And I'm like, maybe I'm making a joke on that. And I'm like, I'm sure someone's done that already. Or you can just watch the real actual documentary, because you don't need a satire of that. It's already crazy. And so then I'm like, well, maybe it's something about them just being a couple. Maybe they're a couple. So I said, maybe they're like people that got together on a Christian app, like Christian dating app, and this is who they are really. And I'm like, that's probably been done in like 2010, when Christian dating apps were over. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll date it in 2010 too. And that would be like a flashback to that time, Y2K. Well, Y2K is a movie that just came out. So that's already come out. And then I was like, what if those just like the two black kids, like the only two black kids that were on the southern bumpkin side of town? And I'm like, okay, and they were the ones that got together and got married. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's actually getting interesting. We could talk about like black loneliness and being in the South as a black kid. And I guess the boy, he's awkward, a weird black kid. That's always good. Weird black kids are so misunderstood. But now they're being better understood. But I'm like, that's still a fun movie or a show idea. And then I'm like, okay, that's great. How did they meet one another? And my smile, the Grinch type of smile, evilness in my eyes. And I said, well, maybe they were adopted into the same family. So low-key, those siblings. Not by blood. But, low-key, they were raised by siblings. Maybe they met each other when they were like 8 years old or 5 years old. Obviously, that's enough time for you to grow up and look at each other as siblings, right? But for whatever reason, they got married. And then I'm like, okay, great. That's a TV show. And that is a good idea. And so I need to start writing that. And then there's another TV show I have in my head, but that would just be a fun thing. It's like low-key just a young Sex and the City. I'm sure it's something like Girls is going on HBO Max or whatever. I know it wouldn't probably never be made, but I'm going to write it anyways, because like at least it's not written by, well, I don't know. I'll write it anyways and, throw it in some competition, see if anything comes back. And I'm sure nothing real, but it's just a fun little thing. And so that's the final thing I really need to do. What's my time mark? It's 42 minutes. Okay, period. We can end this soon. I had filmed a video before this. It was me talking about the story of Christmas, but it kind of got stupid, so I'm not going to end up uploading it. This is what you get instead, a video without even my face being in it. I also want to say, someone commented down below in one of my makeup videos, I believe, I'm your 100th subscriber. And I literally was like, oh my God, I have 100 subscribers. Oh my God. So I want to say thank you to you, Miss 100. And now there's 101. So thank you to you, Mix 101, because I don't know your gender. See what I did there? I'm being respectful. Yeah, seriously guys, thank you guys so much. I know it's like silly videos, but like watching my videos, giving me some of your attention makes me feel so good. It really does. And I hope you guys enjoy yourselves watching these videos. And I hope that these podcast episodes aren't too ununderstandable. I know my accent or my speech impediment, let's call it what it is. I know it's kind of hard to listen to, and it's like, what is she saying? Especially when I'm talking fast. But I hope you get the gist of what I'm saying, and that gist is a bit entertaining. So there you go. Please subscribe to me. Please follow my Instagram, and please follow my TikTok. And at worst of worst, follow my Lemon 8 for when TikTok gets banned, because I think that's gonna happen. But maybe it won't, and that would be nice. Follow me in all those places. I hope you have a really happy New Year. And I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I was like, what else is there to say? I hope you have a Merry Christmas. That's it.